Brock Bowers, breaking news, is headed to the NFL. No surprise. We've seen the last of Brock and Silver Britches. Guy's an amazing, an amazing player. Arguably the greatest Georgia Bulldog of all time. I think it's hard to win that argument, but I think you can have that argument. And only three-time All-Americans in school history. He's a multiple John Mackey Award winner. He should have won that 3 times. It's amazing to me that he didn't. 175 receptions for 2,538 yards, 26 touchdowns receiving, 19 carries, 193 yards, 5 touchdowns, 31. This guy scored 31 touchdowns in his career at Georgia. I mean, that's just an amazing amount of production. That's getting it done. We thought he was good. We had no idea he was this good in terms of like what he brought to the team. There's every year he made a play that you were like, okay, wow, that's nuts. I want to talk about the play against Auburn, and I'll talk about it in the future, probably more in depth. But this year, Georgia was having to fight its way out of Jordan Hare. They just were. And these things happen. Ask Alabama, or very specifically ask Alabama. But when Georgia needed Brock Bowers the most, he was there. I mean, every time. But in this case, I've only seen the look. I have never seen the look that he had in his eyes that day. I've never seen that in an athlete's eyes in 23 years of photography on the field. It was explosive. He was a power the likes of which you just don't see people that skilled running loose like that. I mean, I say that skilled, I mean as a big guy. I mean, he's going to immediately be one of the best tight ends in the NFL. He will immediately be one of the best tight ends in the NFL. He might not be the best, but he's going to immediately be one of the best ones. And I'm going to these. I'm going to put on the screen right now these images from the Auburn game, and they're not all going to be exceptional shots. I got 57. This is a remote camera that I use that captures stuff that I can't capture because I'm not a robot. But that was Brock's reaction to scoring the game-winning touchdown with about 3 minutes to go in that game. This is the frame before that when he was just sprinting away. This is the same. Some of these are not the same images, but look at this guy catch the ball with one hand, and then the look in his eyes. I don't know which frame it is. Obviously, some very young fans eager to see him. This was the day Carson, I think, grew up as a quarterback at Georgia. One-handed catches. This guy is amazing. But this is actually a very nice image, if I do say so myself, just because of the shadows and all that. But it was these that were not that shot right there. Like that. So let me tell you about some perspective here. First of all, you just look at his thighs, look at those biceps, but look at the eyes, man. I've been around a lot of really gifted athletes when I was a child. If I guess teenagers or children, I guess my AAU teammates, some of them went on to play in the NBA. The guys I played in college with, obviously they all went played high school with. They all went to college. The guys that played at Tucker were people like Patrick Pass and Corey Robinson. Went on to play at Georgia. We went up against Juan Gaston and Sharif Abdul-Rahim in basketball. Matt Harpring played 18 years in the NBA. There, maybe with the exception of Juan Gaston, maybe. There's nobody that's been like Brock Bowers in terms of just athleticism and freaky deaky stuff. Cam Newton, but I'm talking about big man ability to do things, and that's what Georgia is going to be missing are those eyes right there. And number 10, has no shot of catching him. That's the other thing with Brock. Once you, once he's, I mean, he's gone. Like he's gone. This guy again. I tell this story a lot too. He scored the first touchdown in 20. He had the first catch in 21. He had the last catch in 21. I can get to some of those images too. But he means a lot. He will um his time at Georgia will be remembered by the two national championships, no question. Um, and and it's hard to I do there's a shot from the Michigan game too. This is the first touchdown that Georgia scored in this game, and by the way, they knew they were going to win this game before they even got on the field. But this image right here, I've used this one a lot of Brock. It's a good shot. When you're down there, you're just hoping for one good shot. I think this is probably the one good shot of this game in particular. I know y'all can only see so much, but look how dejected the band is back there for Michigan, and then the fans for Georgia, who were massively outnumbered that day, and then the how excited Brock was right there. Oh shoot, y'all can't see it on the screen. Excuse me. Here we go. One more time. The band in the background for Michigan, the fans, the four fans, a couple ladies there who are extremely excited. I mean, I get it. And then the reaction from Brock. This guy is something else, and they will miss Brock Bowers. I mean, him not playing matters. It mattered, it mattered when they didn't have him out there. It mattered that he was banged up against Alabama and the SEC championship game. All this stuff does add up. Now that's not the reason they lost. They lost because Alabama played better than them. But here's this last touchdown of the national championship game for Brock, and the reaction as a result. So this is Marcus Rosemary-Jack Saint in the background. Okay. All right, that's Marcus in the background. Went back when he was number 81. I think that's Kool-Aid McKinstry. I'm pretty sure, actually. And Brock is out of focus because some of us are not very good photographers. If you know anything about photography, you can't always. That's not how aperture works. But anyway, this is the touchdown that put Georgia up 8. Of course, they won the game by 15, I think it was. This is him dancing into the end zone. The reaction is just right here. Look at these guys. James Cook, man. That's, of course, Justin Schaefer in the near frame. James Cook, Brock, Ladd McConkey, and I think that's Justin Robinson. I can't tell who that is in the background. No, that's Marcus. Yeah, that's Marcus Rosemary-Jackson. That's what they're going to miss. Now, there's going to be other guys. There's going to be other guys that have the ability to step up and do things, but nobody's going to be Brock Bowers. They're just not. And unlike when Herschel left in 82 after the 82 season, Georgia still had a really good team in 83, and they stopped Texas from winning the national championship. Of course, what time is it in Texas? It's always 10-9. But for this Georgia team, Brock is really important, was really important, but he's not the only piece. He's a really important one, and it needs to be acknowledged that they've not won the national championship without Brock Bowers on their team in 40-something years. You can say the same thing about Stetson Bennett. So he is quiet. He really doesn't like interviews. I know that from people that know him well. The family has felt like Georgia was the right place for their son, and that he, and that is challenging, by the way. Brock Bowers probably would have done well anywhere. Tennessee, Auburn, Alabama, it would have been a great fit for him. But something did click for him with this Georgia fan base. But it's hard not to like him a lot. It's hard not to like him. He will be, he has all of the characteristics of an NFL Hall of Fame player. I don't talk like that a lot. And I'm certainly not an expert on these matters, but I'm more expert than some. and he's got everything you need to be one of the greats of all time. He will come into the NFL as one of the best tight ends. He won't be the best, but he will be one of the best, and it probably won't take him long to be the best. Because as great as guys like Travis Kelce and all these other just freaky deek tight ends that are out there are, Bowers can do that stuff, and he's extremely explosive. He's explosive in ways those guys are not. That's the scary part about Brock Bowers. But when you think back about his time at Georgia, that will never happen again. That, euphoria that he and others helped create from winning the national championship in 2021, that will never occur again because Georgia's not going to wait 40 years to win the national championship. They waited a year. And, he was a massive reason why. I haven't even talked about the Ohio State game. So, he is extremely important. I thought David Green and David Pollock were abnormally important at the time. But looking back on it and having more perspective, they were extremely important. But Bowers added two national championships to that, and he was the position player of the year at his spot twice. Should have been 3 times. He was a 3-time All-American. You can say that about David Pollock. You cannot say that about any other Bulldog other than Herschel. So what does Brock, what is Brock's legacy? Greatness, excellence. He's going to be a first-round draft pick. He's going to be a 2-time national champion. He's a multi-time John Mackey Award winner, which is the best tight end. You definitely can make the argument he is the greatest player this century at Georgia. I think you could make that argument. It would be between him and David Pollock, and I think you wouldn't be wrong going with Brock. I think probably I would. It'd be a tough fight though, because David Pollock mattered a lot. Also a first-round guy, also a 3-time All-American. We didn't have the playoff back then. If Georgia, the playoff, if we had the same rules as we did in the past, Georgia'd have 1 national championship, not 2. So I think it's hard to explain in words how important that Brock Bowers was to Georgia, or is to Georgia. But some of these images, which I will leave you with, are, are etched in history. I mean, some of these are not in focus, but here's this guy playing on special teams. This was special teams in the national championship game. And I think that's William Mote just getting hype. Yeah, it is William Mote. There's not a lot of guys. Here's Ryan's shot from up top. Sorry about that. Here's Ryan's shot from up top of Brock, scoring. And then the celebration with Marcus and Ladd and James. Look at James Cook, man. Man, I love James Cook. That's another story for another day. But, yeah, that's what they're losing. But they've got other greatness coming. But, man, Brock Bowers was something else.